The year is 2004. Brad and Jen are the biggest couple around the world, the leading man of Hollywood and the leading lady of television in a seemingly perfect relationship, one that came right out of Hollywood fables. No matter who you were attracted to, no one could withstand the power of these lustful celebs right in their prime, including Miss Angelina Jolie. And it seems that Brad Pitt, when meeting his future wife and mother of his 6 children, found something better than what the world thought was the hottest relationship at the time. This is the story of Brad, Jen and Angelina, and how their love triangle scandal rocked the world. By 2004, Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston had been going out for a total of 6 years and had been married for 4. As they both grew rapidly in their careers, they also grew together, going on a date for the first time in 1998 after they both split from their significant others. Jen with Tate Donovan and Brad with Gwyneth Paltrow. As they got engaged only 5 months later, you can probably guess it went pretty well. In September 1999, the couple rocks the nation when they make their red carpet debut at the Emmys. In an interview that year with Rolling Stone, Jen exclaimed that, "This is the happiest time of my life, that I'm happier than I've ever been. I'm not saying why, it's for a lot of reasons. Work, love, family, just life, all of it." She also talks about her thoughts on marriage, saying, "Sure, marriage is wonderful, but I'm not desperate, I'm not itching for it. It's something that, hopefully, at one time in my life, I'll be able to do." Which is funny because only a year later, on the 29th of July 2000, she and Brad get married in a magical Malibu celebration, with 200 guests, 50,000 flowers, 4 bands, fireworks, and a gospel choir, according to People magazine. Jennifer talked about how she felt on her wedding day in an interview with Rolling Stone 1 year later. "I had those typical jitters the day before my wedding, but the day of, I was just excited in a good way. The nice thing about weddings now, it's not just a chick thing, it's a team effort. Stereotype used to be men grumbling like, 'Why are you making me do this?' There's nothing more moving than seeing a man cry at his own wedding." Fast forward 4 years, and the couple is doing better than ever. Brad plays a leading role in 2 major releases that year, Troy and Ocean's 12, with both movies receiving rave reviews and doing amazing at the box office. Jen also closed out the Friends series in 2004 with an estimated 52.5 million American viewers watching the last episode on the 28th of May, making it the most watched episode of the 2000s on US television. Life was better than ever. Jen even stated it in an interview with The Guardian on the 22nd of February, her answer to the question about the blessed event that's had an eager public and over-eager press interested for a while now. It's time. You know, I think you can work with a baby. I think you can work pregnant. I think you can do all of it. So I'm just truly looking forward to slowing down. I'll finish Friends by the end of January. He'll be finishing Mr. and Mrs. Smith at the end of February. Then he starts Ocean's 12. So I, thankfully, will be able to go and travel with him while he's doing that. Filming starts for Mr. and Mrs. Smith on the 5th of January 2004. This is after production has already been delayed so long because of actors constantly dropping out. First, the lead roles were meant to go to Nicole Kidman and Brad Pitt, but Kidman dropped out because of scheduling conflicts with the Stepford Wives, which was not that good. For a while, the producers thought about casting Johnny Depp or Will Smith as the leading man and Cate Blanchett or Catherine Zeta-Jones as the leading woman. However, after they thought of Angelina Jolie, everyone was unanimous that Angie should be Mrs. Smith. Somehow, Catherine Zeta-Jones' name came up, but there wasn't a lot of unanimity about casting her, as there was about Angelina Jolie. Although it's reported that Brad Pitt came back to the film because of Angelina's casting, I couldn't find any actual evidence, so it is what it is. In April, only months into filming, rumors start spreading that Brad and Angelina's on-screen chemistry was turning into something more intimate off-screen. The rumors range from Brad sending a bouquet of flowers to Angelina's trailer with the suggestive message to the missus, "Oops." Angelina improvising a sultry on-screen tango, slithering down Brad's leg and winding up with her mouth by his crotch. Brad telling Angelina that they should buy a home together in Amalfi, Italy, to which she supposedly replied, "That's ridiculous, you're married." Jennifer accidentally overhearing Brad and Angelina have phones. A rumor Angelina said was, absolute. And the rumor that Angelina said she had merely been a shoulder for Brad to cry on, a rumor that caused Angelina to have her lawyers send word to Aniston and Pitt that she never said anything like that. For only a few months of filming, things got pretty crazy. However, it would seem that these rumors of on and off-screen romance weren't completely untrue. As in a 2006 interview with US Vogue, Angelina recalled, "Because of the film, we ended up being brought together to do all these crazy things, and I think we found this strange friendship and partnership that kind of just suddenly happened. I think a few months in I realized, God, I can't wait to get to work. Anything we had to do with each other, we just found a lot of joy in it together, and a lot of real teamwork. We just became kind of a pair." But she also spoke about how she never thought she would end up in a relationship and was happy being single. "Brad was a huge surprise to me. I, like most people, had a very distant impression of him from the media. I am just as guilty. I think we were both the last two people who were looking for a relationship. I certainly wasn't. I was quite content to be a single mom with Matt, and I didn't know much about exactly where Brad was in his personal life. But it was clear he was with his best friend, someone he loves and respects, and so we were both living, I suppose, very full lives." It's important to note that Angelina was recently divorced at this time after coming off a whirlwind romance with Billy Bob Thornton. Yes, that relationship. She had also adopted her first child, Maddox Siobhan Jolie, from Cambodia, who was 2.5 years old by the time Brad and Angelina started filming. Shooting carried on until the 22nd of April 2004, when Brad had to leave to go film Ocean's 12 in France. Squashing any infidelity rumors, he was pictured with Jennifer at the Cannes Film Festival on the 13th of May at the screening of his new movie, Troy. He was also spotted again with Jennifer only a few days later, travelling down the River Seine on a romantic evening boat trip. On the 12th of August, filming resumes, and rumours of an affair are immediately reunited with photographs of Angelina and Brad looking very close on set, transported around the world. The film's crew, however, insisted they were just in character. Angelina even addressed the photos later on in a June 2005 interview with Vanity Fair, saying, "You mean the picture from the movie? If you look closely, it looks like my hand is in his shirt because they've actually moved two pictures together." On the 7th of January 2005, Brad and Jen announced their separation to People magazine via this joint statement. "We would like to announce that after 7 years together, we have decided to formally separate. For those who follow these sort of things, we would like to explain that our separation is not the result of any of the speculation reported by the tabloid media. This decision is the result of much thoughtful consideration. We happily remain committed and caring friends with great love and admiration for one another. We ask in advance for your kindness and sensitivity in the coming months." Aniston later talked about the statement in a September 2005 Vanity Fair interview, saying, "What we said was true, as far as I knew. We wrote it together very consciously and felt very good about it. We exited this relationship as beautifully as we entered it." Only 4 months later, on the 19th of April 2005, the first photos of Brad, Angelina and Maddox vacationing at a romantic beach resort in Kenya are shared across the world, even though the representatives for both actors continued to deny the relationship. By Us Weekly, who reported that the pair shared a long passionate kiss and that Pitt applied sunblock to Jolie's shoulders as if he were giving her a sensual massage. The photos were the subject of an intense bidding war between the celebrity weeklies, with Us Weekly buying the pictures for $500,000. I also found on Pop Culture Died in 2009, which is a godsend website, that Angelina and Brad were well aware that they were being photographed and got a cut of the profits, which, you know, is good for Brangelina, as they were now being called. Jennifer would talk again about how she felt on this new development for Brangelina, saying, "The world was shocked, and I was shocked. If Jennifer was shocked then, she was about to have a heart attack from the statements that Angelina would put out to the press during the promotion for Mr. and Mrs. Smith." In a Vanity Fair profile of Angelina titled "And the Single Mom," released on the 1st of June 2005, Angelina talked openly about how she had an arrangement with two different lovers who she wouldn't name, who she would meet for intercourse in hotels. While she didn't state if she continued the situation while filming Mr. and Mrs. Smith, she certainly made it sound like it was a recent situation. It sounds like you're lucky, I say. You have a regular setup. She has said she has 2 different lovers. It takes a long time to create a situation like I have. I was always not wanting to take them to meet my kid. A few months into it with one, he started to ask about, can he spend time with Mad or get to know Maddox that is, a guy you were dating. A guy who was a lover, and I had to become very clear, like, this stays where it stays. 1, you don't have to talk about my son because that's not who you are, and that's okay, I appreciate it, but please don't assume that that's okay. When I was married to Billy, the actor Billy Bob Thornton, her second husband, I met a man I never slept with. We had dinner once and it ended up being, look, I'm married, I can't sleep with you, I can't even finish dinner because it's uncomfortable. 3 years later, I called him and asked if he wanted to be lovers. And it was one of those phone calls of just, you know, a single mom sleeping with a baby and just, I'll call up a man and ask if he wants to be my lover. And we spent a few dinners kind of discussing the details of how this was going to happen. It was actually fascinating. It was interesting between a man and a woman to say, this is what we're both worried about and this is how we won't hurt anyone's feelings. In the same interview, she also gave the much talked about line, I always fall in love while I'm working on a film. She also talked about Jennifer for the first time and her relationship with Brad. I knew nothing about their marriage. All I know is they seem like wonderful people and wonderful friends, and they seem like, I wish people could learn from them and how they seem to obviously be so close and they seem like they're getting back together, I said. Yeah, maybe. On the 10th of June, Brad and Angelina attend the Mr. and Mrs. Smith premiere, where she debuts one of her best looks, if I do say so myself, and carry on doing press throughout the month where we get these amazing photos.
Hey, it's Gigi Hadid. For more videos like this, click here.
When asked by NMC if she'd been hurt by the affair rumours, Angelina replied, I've just grown too much to be hurt by what people's opinion of my love life is. In July, Brad and Angelina head to Ethiopia to adopt a new child, Zahara Mali, who had recently been orphaned by the Ethiopian AIDS crisis. This period of the Brad, Jen and Angelina story was the most publicised and talked about era, as there were constantly new developments in the Brangelina story, and then a couple months later, Jennifer would comment on them. For example, in the same month that they adopted their daughter in Ethiopia, which caused a worldwide media circus, Brad and Angelina's W magazine shoot titled Domestic Bliss also came out. In the pictures, the two are seen playing house, role-playing as the classical nuclear family with 5 blonde, blue-eyed boys of their own. The concept, which was a collaboration between the iconic photographer Stephen Klein and Brad himself, makes the shoot all the more shocking, as Brad and Angelina had yet to confirm they were even dating. What I think some people didn't get, including Jennifer herself, as you will later hear, was that there was some humour in this shoot, some self-deprecation, and Brad and Angelina were actually aware of the irony in their situation, that they had somehow found instant domestic bliss that also came with 2 children in less than a year by breaking apart a marriage and a woman who thought she was about to settle down and have kids. As well as the fact that most people saw them as selfish, beautiful ghouls with incredible cheekbones who had no interest in anyone or anything except their own beauty, wealth, fame, and each other, which you can see they make fun of in these photos. But apparently Jennifer didn't see it that way. Here is an excerpt from her September 2005 Vanity Fair interview 2 months after the W shoot came out that explains how she felt. The W feature, which was entitled Domestic Bliss, couldn't be blamed on the paparazzi. Not only did Pitt conceptualize it, but he retained the international rights, so he actually profited from it. Aniston's eyes widen in surprise when I mentioned that last fact, and she grimaces. I didn't know that. Is it odd timing? Yeah, but it's not my life. He makes his choices. He can do whatever. We're divorced, and you can see why. I can also imagine Brad having absolutely no clue why people will be appalled by it. Brad is not mean-spirited. He would never intentionally try to rub something in my face. In hindsight, I can see him going, oh, I can see that was inconsiderate. But I know Brad. Brad would say, that's art. There's a sensitivity chip that's missing. In the interview, she also says that she's not interested in taking public potshots, which was very timely as at that point, the Brad, Jen and Angelina story had become a daily reported topic in the news. It went as far as boutiques such as Kitson in Hollywood making their own Team Aniston and Team Jolie shirts, the sales of which they would then report to the public. Even though it wouldn't bring that much comfort to Jennifer, Kitson did report Team Aniston t-shirts were outselling Team Jolie t-shirts by a margin of 25-1.
Oh my god, it's not funny.
The divorce of Brad and Jennifer was finalized in October 2005, and the couple were legally marked single again. Although Jennifer was legally out the story, it didn't mean the rumors and tabloid articles stopped anytime soon. And one rumor that really irritated her was the idea that Brad left her because she refused to have any children, because she was so ambitious she only cared about her career, which she addressed. A man divorcing would never be accused of choosing career over children. That really pissed me off. I've never in my life said I didn't want to have children. I did, and I do, and I will. The women that inspire me are the ones who have careers and children. Why would I want to limit myself? I've always wanted to have children, and I would never give up that experience for a career. I want to have it all. Over the next few years, Brangelina would continuously create headlines with her humanitarian causes, childbirth, and interview moments where they reminisced about this chaotic period in their lives. They also worked in some movies. On the 27th of March 2006, the pair had their first biological child, Shiloh, and sold pictures of the baby to People magazine for over $4 million, with all proceeds going to their charity. They co-founded the Jolie Pitt Foundation later that year and gave away $2 million to charities that help children and families abroad. They adopted their fourth child, Pax, from Vietnam the next year and gave birth to twins the year after that, the photos of which they sold to People and Hello magazine for $14 million, all of which went to the Jolie Pitt Foundation. All the while, Jennifer Aniston, Jennifer, was recovering from the heartbreak she experienced a few years back and was moving on to a new life and a new man. In 2012, she started dating fellow actor Justin Theroux, and the two eventually made it a thing when they married in a secret backyard ceremony in the summer of 2015, with guests such as Courtney Cox, Lisa Kudrow, Emily Blunt, and John Krasinski, and Ellen and Portia. According to Us magazine, they also signed an ironclad prenup before the ceremony. However, even though every party in the love triangle had now gone their respective ways, two of them together, it didn't mean that they never talked about each other again. In December 2008, Jennifer voiced some of her frustrations on what Angelina had said in a 2007 Vogue interview, where she talked about how she couldn't wait to get to work during the Mr. and Mrs. Smith filming, and that her and Brad just became kind of a pair. This is what she said. There was stuff printed there that was definitely from a time when I was unaware that it was happening. I felt those details were a little inappropriate to discuss. That stuff about how she couldn't wait to get to work every day, that was really uncool. In the September 2011 interview for Parades, Brad talked about his marriage to Jennifer. It became very clear to me that I was intent on trying to find a movie about an interesting life, but I wasn't living an interesting life myself. I think that my marriage had something to do with it, trying to pretend that the marriage was something that it wasn't. Yeah, it's bad. The same day the interview was published, Brad issued a statement apologizing to Jennifer, saying, "Jen is an incredibly giving, loving, and hilarious woman who remains my friend. It is an important relationship I value greatly." The point I was trying to make is not that Jen was dull, but that I was becoming dull to myself, and that I am responsible for. And then, in 2014, in a not-so-surprise move, Brad and Angelina get married in a small private ceremony with their kids at their chateau in France. The wedding photos, they sold for a cool $5 million. So it seems everyone is happy. Jennifer found her man, Brangelina, and I like stalking both couples.
You can't believe what I'm about to tell you. TMZ just broke the news. Brad and Angelina are divorcing.
Yes. As you probably know, Brangelina are getting divorced. Not only that, Jennifer broke up with her man, announcing their split in February 2018. Seems like Mr. and Mrs. Smith's marriage troubles never did get resolved, but maybe it's for the best. If you were on the internet in 2016, I'm sure you would have come across at least one Brangelina divorce meme. Some of them kinda suck, some of them are kinda funny, some of them are just... yeah. Since Angelina filed for divorce from Brad in September 2016, the media has constantly been trying to link Brad and Jennifer together in some way or another. There was the rumor that Brad was confiding in Jennifer about his divorce. There have also been a lot of recoupling rumors, but who can really know for sure? However, it does seem that they are friendly again. Brad was pictured at Jennifer's 50th birthday party if you can count his hair as a picture, he was also apparently at Jennifer's Christmas party in 2019, but there were no hair pics to confirm that. Then, in January 2020, the picture that was seen around the world, Brad and Jennifer reunite backstage at the Saga Awards for their first public photos in 2006, and everyone went crazy. Angelina, on the other hand, has been busy with the kids and humanitarian causes and will be starring in her first major movie since 2019's Maleficent, with The Eternals coming out in late 2021. The Brad, Jen and Angelina story has probably been one of the most profitable celebrity topics of the last 20 years. Anyone with some interest in entertainment has probably shared their thoughts on the topic at one time or another. I know I have definitely talked my fair share of Brangelina in my time. This love triangle continues to be one of the most enduring celebrity stories to come out of the mid-2000s, alongside What the Hell is Lindsay Doing and The Life of Paris Hilton. Do you think Brangelina were the hottest couple on earth? Were you Team Aniston, Team Jolie, or Team What the Hell Are We Talking About? Is Salt actually a good movie? Let me know in the comments down below, like the video, and subscribe if you're new.
Hi, Brad. You know how cute I always thought you were? I think you're so sexy. Will you come to me?
Hi, I'm Cara Delevingne. Please don't forget to subscribe by clicking this button right here. Boop.